right, so here we are. It is the final episode, and definitely it's a final part of Comic Book Karaoke episode 6. We walk with the Rainbow Nation here in geek culture in South Africa. Remember, this has all been about the narrative, the kind of the reboot, the 2020s version of all those conversations around our geekdom, our multiverse of geekdom that have to be had. We did have them and will continue having them. My name is Chris Jordan. I am your friendly neighborhood geek, and I really want to delve into a lot more of what our industry has to offer to our really, they are committed. There we go. We're all committed as geeks. We are committed to support anything from local to international and everything in between. And see what Jonathan Harding, who is still with us from Fandom is Awesome, has to say about that.
Okay. My whole thing is that we were most arguing now about this whole thing about influencers in South Africa, and you said that they're legit, and I said,
No. An influencer is anyone with an audience and some amount of influence. That's it.
But that's you see, the word was influence. So what I'm finding is that, and I have a segue into the way that that there's this like self-classist, elitist group that suddenly emerged within the South African geekdom space, and it comes from this kind of push and pull of someone's told them go and say stuff on social media because people will listen, and an influencer is literally defined as someone who makes you go and without thought do something. So here,
Without thought, though.
no, really, it is, because that's the whole point. That's why a brand ambassador almost falls closely to what an influencer is, right?
Same thing.
Well, no, actually, because again, whether we're going corporate and there's slight different rules and regulations, because an influencer can be what they want to be.
Okay, I'm sure in business there are many more categories and criterions, but from the perspective of a content creator, they're the same thing.
Content creator, define?
Anyone who posts images or videos online, articles, anything of that description.
Okay.
That includes cosplayers, game and tech reviewers, etc., etc. It's all of them.
So, again, I love to stand to be corrected. Tell me whether this is just a perception or it's an actual reality.
I think it's a bit of both. Okay. I get the sense that a lot of brands and companies look at creators just as a basis, as influencers. That seems to be the perspective we have, at least. Creators, there are two sort of groups. There is the influencer, who is more than happy to be called that. Just don't expect them to take responsibility for whatever bad side effects their influences have. And there are the people who dislike the term influencer.
Okay.
I consider myself to be among them. As much as I may review movies, I try to look at them more through the lens of it's not good or it's not bad. It's just here's what it does.
But Fandom is Awesome is so much more than just the movie reviews. You are, like I say, you've really built quite a diverse and deep and rich understanding of the geek culture. So you do have a reason to say stuff. It's not your first year or your first rodeo or whatever it is, right? And so I can understand you've worked. There it is. You've worked hard and long to get that, like I say, that little mini-verse of power and influence, right? Whereas others,
I feel like there's a bit of both there, because you could talk to someone who does the same work as influencers. They get sent products for review. They do all the same things like that. Like, hey, I ate at this and this restaurant. They don't tell you that they got paid to go and eat at this and this restaurant.
No, but it's so transparent now because,
these days it's quite transparent, but there are a lot of people who do that, and then they say, no, I don't like the term influencer.
I know what I'm talking about in terms of the craft of exercising a review, something as simple as a movie review, right? And I think that's the difference, because when it becomes professional versus when it's kind of like made in my back garden, that's where I think the aggravation gets.
There's a lot of crossover there. Recently, something that happened in the creator and influencer sphere, Twitch had a massive leak, and many content creators had their earnings aired publicly.
Oh, wow.
Now, it's funny, most of them, their earnings are public. They'll have a sub counter. You can multiply it by the cost of a subscription, and you can assume roughly how much this person makes. But suddenly everyone's like, wow, these people are actually millionaires. You know, top 10 Twitch streamers, they're earning $70,000-$80,000 a month easily.
Yeah, sure, for sure.
But now there is this idea that they're the same as us. They're not.
No.
They might have been 5 years ago, but they're not now.
Yeah.
There's this idea that it's homegrown. It is, as you said, made in my back garden. And to a degree it is. It's just on a far larger budget.
But that's what I'm saying to you. Look, like if we try and compare ourselves with, basically it's the media moguls of the world. America, obviously the UK and Australia. There's no such thing. Like, just because we see it being done, so you know, it's not. We don't again understand the power that they just pump into someone like you know. I mean, they're featuring on Amazing Race. Here's an influencer here because they're that big. You understand? So we're making an entire series of just influencers.
Yeah.
Okay, but I don't want to talk in circles. I just want to know that is it? I mean, are we in a space where we can legitimately look in the mirror as a wannabe influencer and then put in the work to be a real influencer so that we can start welcoming them with open arms, respect, you know? I'm glad you do it part-time, but that's the whole point of the influencer.
Yeah.
They don't do it part-time. You see, they don't have another
I
job.
don't think anyone really walks in there with the hope or dream of becoming an influencer, specifically.
Can I tell you something? And that's very, very disappointing coming from a 25-year-old. Because again, the kids that I teach within media, they see it as a job.
No. We look at it as a job, but we don't hear the word influencer.
No, that's starting to change.
A lot of us, we look at it and we hear content creator. We look at it and we hear, I want to be like Shroud or PewDiePie. They don't think of it as an influencer. They think of it as famous person, makes lots of money, plays video games for a living.
But this is where I'm correcting you, because again, working with these, like I say, these rising media, like I say, next generation professionals, you see, they see the bigger picture of it.
No, but like, you know, that's more people coming in with the intent to turn it into a business. But the problem is we still pretend it's homegrown.
Why board games? Look, I mean, I said why board games on the way here. I said, but why board games outside here? And then I came in and I saw, there's something about board games. So why? I mean, okay, tell us a little bit of the context. Where did it start? Like, why is that everyone's just so amped about it? It's amazing. Yeah.
Board games have become huge in South Africa, and they cater for a large variety of ages and types of people.
I think we've got children here from about 7 up, and we've got guys who come that are over 60.
How long have you guys been playing?
Well, we've been doing this for
We've been doing the business for about 2.5 years, but we've been playing for about 4 years.
I love an origin story. So tell me, you got 30 seconds to tell me about your origin story, how you guys met, and then obviously how this became a thing.
Okay, well, we...
for you, I'm saying.
For me.
Yeah.
I was a big PC gamer, and about 4 years ago, my brother introduced, he showed us a game, a board game, and I haven't looked back since. I don't play PC games anymore.
I was going to say there was in there, so I've got something in my eyes. Hold on a second. Do I look pretty? Yeah, I think I do. Okay, so so you were I was a gamer. until my 10-year-old cousin started beating me at way back when God of War was a thing. So then I stopped and I decided to like play emulators on my own in private where I could still have confidence. But that's a side story. Andrea, tell me about your geekdom.
I've always been into board games, but I date Richard and also got introduced by his brother.
Okay, cool. Can I do one? What is a hot favorite? Like, I mean, like they're scrambling here. Like, it's like the Batman of like, the Batman of like board games.
I would say at the moment Tyrants of the Underdark.
Tell me about what Tyrants of the Underdark is.
That's a Dungeons and Dragons game. It's a deck building game.
Nice, a classic, but re-envisioned, I'm guessing.
Yeah, no, it's.
Well, I mean, just say yes because I'm again uneducated.
Tell me
how it works. And tell me how it works. I see there's like these little guys here.
So you can see, So there's 4 different colors. So there's 4 different players.
Yep.
Each player is going to have 2 cyclists.
Okay.
You're going to have a rouge, which is the guy keeping the pace, and then you have your sprinter, and that sprinter you want to win eventually.
Are you a cyclist, by the way?
No, not at all. He is a cyclist, but I'm not.
How do you know you're going to win then?
I don't.
Do you need cycling
I think
skills?
I'm going to win. Huh?
Do you need cycling skills
No,
or no?
not at all. You don't know anything about cycling.
How do these cards work?
So you're going to draw 4 cards per turn, and these cards are going to have numbers on them.
Okay.
So as you can see,
We won't. No, we don't show them.
Okay.
Cool.
So then you're going to choose one of these numbers, and that's how fast your guy is going to travel. But as soon as you choose one of his numbers, they're gone forever. So you can decide to play high numbers in the beginning, but at the end of the game, you're going to only have low numbers left, and then people can pass to you. So you need to choose the right
I would
card
have
at the
so
right
lost
time.
at this. I just want to try and not be like ousted here. All right, so the first of today's games.
First of today's games.
Why this one as a? Are you working your way up to like something? Like, is this the best, and you're working your way down, or is that all the ones cool?
It was new. We wanted to play something new.
Please explain. Spirits of the Rice Paddy. Cool. Okay, I got the name right. All right. So tell me how this works.
Okay,
There's a board game there.
basically, you have to build your rice paddies by walling them off, and then grow rice.
Cool.
Using the spirit's help.
Yeah, true. I get it. There's spirits. How do you lose against your mate there?
They grow more rice than you.
All right. I want to see how this works.
Okay, cool. So, for example, here, I've assigned 3 workers and an ox to build walls.
Okay.
So I'll then put these back in my pool.
Okay.
And be able to take a wall and a gate.
Okay.
And then I've already got 2 walls, so I'll be able to place these how I want them to build a new paddy.
Okay. Now do you have to roll dice or something?
No. I built my paddy.
Okay.
And then we move on to everyone else's build walls. He's already built his walls and built his walls. And then I'll be moving on to removing rocks.
Okay.
So I don't want that in there anymore.
That looks like a cow.
Yes, it's an ox.
Oh, I thought you said rocks. Never mind.
The ox removes the rocks.
Cutting into Andrea. Andrea, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks, and you?
I'm good. You're bubbly and stuff. Because I just get thrown in from people to person. What do you do here?
I'm teaching people how to play board games.
Ah, you're a tutor. How did you become a tutor?
Well, I've studied game design at Wits.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, so I've just finished my degree and I love games. So
That's
I love teaching
very
people
cool.
games. Yeah.
That's very cool. I don't know. I mean, a lot of people do not know that. We have to get stuck into what our parents make us go and study.
Yeah.
So, after this, do you design stuff like this?
Yeah, so I'm working on a digital game at the moment. It's not a board game.
Nice.
But yeah, we're working on it and it should be cool.
Can't you make Dino Riders? They never made Dino
Yeah, I know. I
Riders.
need to get on that. It's the next game. Yeah.
Come on, man. Like, vintage is always the best, but like, bring it back, man. Bring it back. Okay, I'm gonna say, seeing as you are then a gamer, I mean, what's your favorite vintage game that you can't stop? That you got an emulator of, that you got the original cartridge of, that you have the PC version of?
I must say, when I was a little girl, the Sega Saturn was my everything. The Sega Saturn is the best, no matter what, yeah.
Okay, so inspiration flows. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Best part about being a tutor?
Oh, that's hard.
Come on. You're having fun.
Just, letting people have fun and showing them how great board games are.
in the spirit of like giving a couple of pounds, a couple of promos, a couple of whatever it is to our family of geeks, I am going to punt myself. You can go on to chrisjordanmedia.net. You can subscribe. There's a bunch of things you can go download. But also you can really go check out my geek podcast series that included Jason Masters, who works on 007, Marvel and DC Comics, a trip down to Icon. I gave a nice conference conversation around geek podcasting and a whole lot more. chrisjordanmedia.net. We might as well have done a jingle around that. Okay, so, all right, where were we? Oh yeah, this. Right. And no, that's not me trying to like start, I don't know, like a garage band. This, the blip. I don't really have to say anything about it because I don't think there's anybody, maybe there's like 200 or 300 people on this planet who did not watch the 10-year decade journey to the blip in Infinity War. This is our historical comic book moment of episode 6, and let's see what Jonathan had to say about it. So, tell me, what did you feel like when Thanos did this for the first time?
So, okay, first time being comics or movies?
Well, I mean, the thing is that it's so closely related. They did a really good job of portraying it. But I wanna, like I said, I wanna have this discussion reach everybody because they all saw. No, my mom just didn't see the blip.
So, like in the comics, there's first like this whole quest that Thanos goes on. It's a bit of Infinity Quest. In the movies, we would probably call that what ended up being Infinity War, where he acquired all the stones, which was basically just a storyline where the stones were first introduced. They didn't exist prior to that, and at the time they were all called Soul Stones. It was only more recently that they got different names and specific powers and whatnot. But now with the blip in general, it's just this huge thing, and part of it that makes the impact work is it's on a more human scale. Like if I were to liken it to another big weapon in sci-fi and fantasy, I would have to say the Death Star.
Sure.
But the problem there is the Death Star killed entire planets of people that we did not know.
Yeah.
As far as we could know, as far as we were concerned, there was no one on those planets at all. Infinity War and Endgame humanized it. It killed off characters that we were attached to, people that we liked. It brought that human cost forward, so the impact hit a lot harder. I remember going into Infinity War knowing, okay, at some point he's going to snap his fingers, either in this movie or the next one, because at that point it was still Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2. And my friend and I literally went in there. We didn't think it would happen in that movie.
Yeah. That's, I think, what everyone, because that was, I stand to be correct, so that's where the silence was.
Yeah.
Like when it ended, everyone literally was like...
We walked out of there harmed.
Yeah, we were like
the next, we were there for the premiere at our nearest mall.
Yeah.
And literally the next showing, like we walked out after the credits, and then there were people waiting to go in, and they saw our faces, and they're like, "Guys, are you okay?" And we couldn't tell them.
Yeah.
We just had to be like...
No, that's one spoiler you couldn't alert.
Yeah, we were just like, it's a good movie. And then we left. And we didn't talk for days.
Days, right?
After that.
That's the thing. And you didn't have to be a geek.
Yeah.
To be mute for
You just had to know the characters. That was it.
You had to take a moment, you know?
Thanos and Lady Death, there's a history there behind the characters and where they come from and what they are.
Yeah.
Thanos in his original incarnation wasn't a Titan, he was an Eternal. He was from Earth.
Right.
But by that point in the comics, there was this massive cosmic scale, and the movies hadn't even gotten close to touching that.
Yeah.
We have, like, no clue as far as the movies are concerned, what the living tribunal is. We don't know about eternity.
Right.
None of that's there.
Yeah.
Lady Death is part of that.
Yeah.
So when Thor Ragnarok came out, we all knew, like Marvel had told us, hey, the next big one's Infinity War.
Yeah.
So we all knew, okay, cool, that's happening. And when we saw Hela, there was, if I'm not mistaken, a theory that she would be their version of Lady Death. If these two have been together in the comics, maybe that's how they'll play it.
Right.
No one was expecting, Thanos' incorrect philosophical tirade to come about. We weren't expecting that angle at all. It didn't necessarily humanize the character, but it gave him an actual motivation beyond just being evil or being love crazed, because in the comics he is legitimately evil.
Hey Chris, sorry this is a little late. I tried this last night. It just wasn't working. I had too many beers. So I'm going to do it now. So what do we do? With countdown 3, 2, 1, and my glasses broke last night. It was a rough night. But edit this out, and let me get this done for you. 3, 2, 1. Hi everybody, I've been asked to do a video of my toy cave, and welcome to my room. It's kind of crammed in here, it's small. Stuff is displayed as best as I can get it, but let me give you a little tour. We can start, we'll zoom this out a little bit. We'll start with the upper part here. G.I. Joe's my passion. There's my Terradrome. And this Mobile Command Center is the very last toy actually was bought for me by my mom when I was a kid. It is complete. I keep a lot of stuff off of it so nothing happens to it. And we'll drop down here some of my G.I. Joe action figures. Some of my favorites. I like to keep them up here on these little shelves. I don't have the entire line, but I have a lot of it. I'm not really into the 90s stuff that much. And I have some more figures down here that I laid out. Like I said, displaying is definitely a struggle for me, so I'm constantly switching stuff around. I do army build a lot. And while we're here, this is my USS Flag. Largest playset made in 1985. It's about 98% complete. I do have the box for it. Obviously it's not in here, it's huge. It's in storage. I like to keep some of my toys on here. I do switch this around a lot. But I have some Cobra Bugs there, some Tomahawks. There's the Raven, one of my favorite planes. We have Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander, and then a swivel arm and a couple mailaways. I made a little shadow box. Take you up here. Here's some newer stuff. Late 80s Iron Grenadiers, whatnot. These are some of my prized gems. My Rattlers, my Fangs. Ferrets. There's the rare Sears Ground Assault. I don't have the Air Assault. The Sears Mailaway Hiss. I know it wasn't a Mailaway, it was just available in Sears. The Water Moccasin. Hiss tanks. Go down a little further. We got some Jeeps, the Vamps, and there's a Mauler in there and a couple Sluggers. I have, I call it the green line. Everything's green back then, but there's some of the early 80s stuff. My Whale, Tactical Battle Platform, Tiger Force, one of my favorite lines ever. Everything here is, except for the double of the boat, is from my childhood. I just taken really good care of it. Down here I got a little bit of Sky Patrol, Slaughters Marauders. There's a Warthog, a couple Rolling Thunders down there. Python Patrol. There's some Dreadnought stuff. Thunder Machine, I'm a big fan of that. I'm always a big fan of these little ones too. The little sets that didn't cost a lot of money were some of the best play value. This is one of my favorite. The Adder. Water Moccasin, there's a Cobra Wolf. A couple Night Landings there. Stuns. And then up here, I'll get up on my chair if I don't fall. This is my one of my favorite Ravens. I brought this to Comic-Con in 2018. And I met Mr. Larry Hama and he signed it for me. Let me get down here. And then never had He-Man as a kid, but I do like this Origins line. So we went and started buying them up. I love the box art on them. Some guys don't care for them because they're not the originals. I never had the originals, so I actually like them. And I have some here, some the Rise of Evil 2-pack. Here's some Eternian Guards, a couple Battle Cats. One of these is the flocked version. And there's some of my Origins figures. I don't have them all. I just got some of the ones I do like. I like the Scareglow, Trapjaw, and stuff like that. On the line of He-Man, we have the Revelations figures, which I absolutely love these. These are actually really nice. I have Wave 1 and 2. There's multiples of them here. But even the Scareglow is such an awesome figure. I just like them in the box. The art on them is amazing. They are pricey, but that's the cost of collecting. And then Mandalorian, I believe to date, with the exception, this is a Return of the Jedi Boba Fett. I just got it because it's Boba Fett. And there's a carbonized one, but they're doubled in the back there. But this is all my Mandalorian Black Series. I love the Mandalorian show. I'm not a huge Star Wars guy, but I do care for the Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett that's on right now. And then brings us to the new studio series, Transformers. These are just like so awesome. They're really, really close to what the movie is from the '86. Again, the box art's amazing, and I really like these a lot. So that's why I display them there. I do have a couple other ones in the back. I don't collect that whole line. I think it's Earthrise or whatever, but I do like the figures. This is my original G1 Optimus Prime. It is out of the box. It's been played with, but it's very, very minty. I do have a couple other original G1s there. Recently, I acquired the Dinobots, and these are reissues. I bought them right from China. They came packed so well, and they're just going to be displayed here. And then there's a reissued Starscream, Soundwave, Hot Rod, Astro Train. I never saw this one when I was a kid, but the camera, it's a 35mm camera. I like that one. That's cute. Let's slide that back in here. I do got some GoBots. There's the little ones right there. There's some Super GoBots down here on the bottom, as you can see. And again, pardon the mess. I just go through so much stuff and organize. There's the thruster. And then there's a sealed mobile, the command center right there. Brings us to diecast. I love these Jada collection. And there's a bunch in there. They're all in the back, lined up. There's some turtles. Just loves his turtles. Whatnot. And basically, as you can see the room I got over here on these shelves, this is a little bit of G.I. Joe and a little bit of odds and ends that I threw together that I like to keep. There's a carded Jinx. Some of the harder to find stuff, the mail away figure case, which I adore. I do have Sergeant Slaughter's autograph. My wife got me on eBay. There's a deck of playing cards from the 25th anniversary series. Here's a cup I kept from when I went to the circus as a kid. Thought that was neat. Baby Yoda's my thing. Mandalorian, obviously. I do love the G.I. Joe box art. Some of these actually are full. They have stuff in them I've never opened. There's Storm Shadow up there. He's one of my favorites. Like I said, I just throw odds and ends together. I like stuff like that. I have a 3D printed Mandalorian rifle. I have the tip over here. And I don't know, I feel like I'm bouncing around here, but it's just, that's my toy room. I mean, there's stuff everywhere. A couple more Origin figures. There's a battle damage Boba Fett helmet, which I did open. I like that. Here's one of my prized gems. Is an Ertl, still in the box, 18 van. Absolutely love this thing. Recently, I just picked these up. These are 2002 Toys R Us commemorative Optimus Prime, Ultra Magnus, and Hot Rod. These are Toys R Us exclusives. I think I'm going to be opening these for display. I'm on the fence. Usually I don't open stuff, but it is what it is. But just to put in perspective how massive this USS flag is too, this is a 10-foot table. 10 foot is usually about the height of a basketball hoop, and it just, boom. It's more of a display area than a toy. I don't actually get to see it too much. I can't get into the wheelhouse here and whatnot. Recently I upgraded my keel haul. This is an original seal that came in the flag box. It's not the mail way. And I won't be opening them. Maybe send them out to get graded. I don't know. But this is my world, guys. This is my passion. And I absolutely love this stuff. And I love meeting new collectors, sharing stuff. I get the opportunity to send stuff over to the South African collectors, which I actually love doing. And oh, in case you're wondering if there's an old analog TV, I still play my PS2, and the new flat screens won't bring up it's too dark, so I use the old analog TV. These are actually getting harder and harder to find. And then I'll take you here. Here's a couple well-loved figures: the AVAC pilot and a Cobra Stinger driver. And I got these in a lot, and they were so well played with. I mean, they are beat that I just absolutely, somebody loved them, so I kept them. And I'll be putting them in my, just to show you in the comparison. This is an AVAC pilot from the Terradrome, and here's a minty one, just to show you how well that thing was played with. Let me move this out of the way. I said, oh, and all my displays, like this. Like the big black display here that everything's on, these shelves, everything came out of the trash, except for the flag table. This big display here behind me, this came out off the side of the road somebody was throwing out. So I try to repurpose everything. I get a part in the boxes, guys. I do a lot of shipping, but down here is where I keep a lot of sealed boxes of stuff. Here's a hydrofoil still in the box. This is Ron Rudat's favorite toy he designed for Hasbro. Many of you have seen Ron Rudat on our Facebook groups. He doesn't live far from me, but when COVID settles down, I'm actually going to meet up with him, and I'm going to have him autograph this. I think that'll be really cool. I'll keep it in my collection. There's a maggot. There's a G.I. Joe sleeping bag from when I was a kid, and I store all my paperwork here. All my blueprints and everything stays in here. I can't display them all. There's a G.I. Joe train set. I mean, I just feel like I'm going on and on, and I got stuff stashed back there. There's a Condor box. There's some GoBot stuff. Oh, there's a Rolling Thunder there. There's a G.I. Joe headquarters in a box there. I have stuff everywhere. And it gets a little overwhelming, but it's okay. I do love it. I'll move this back out of the way. And, yeah, this is my world. And maybe we can do a part 2 and I show you my video game room. I have a video game room with all my video games. And, but welcome to my world. Thank you. Thanks for having me be a part of this.
All right. Yeah, okay, well, you know, that was kind of whatever attempt to say goodbye. And thank you so much for joining us through this little passion project that was absolutely amazing for myself, and so really awesome to be involved and I say collaborating with a whole bunch of really great people on Comic Book Karaoke. So glad that you have also chosen to, well, be part of it by having it in your life. And there are so many cliches like, that's a rap, that's this, or whatever it is, and I don't really know of the appropriate one to say cheers and goodbye, except cheers and goodbye. For myself, Chris Jordan, and the CBK, I'm going to say, it's not a franchise yet, here's hoping. I'm going to say cheers, goodbye, may your force be whatever you want it to be, don't let me tell you, and well, see you on the other side.